Hello, this is a review of the new Razer hybrid pad, the Razer Strider. Now, this mouse is actually really, I'll say interesting, because I don't think it's bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it has a couple of really weird quirks almost that make it not quite as good as certain other things that are competing in its price range. So, let's get the pad out of the way first. This pad's base is complete shit. It does not stick to any desk surface. It moves around if you fucking move your mouse too much, and it overall feels like the bottom of a shoe rather than like the base of a really high quality mouse pad. Another major downside of this pad is how hard it is. This isn't like an artisan mid where it's like, okay, this is kind of like a firm foam. It's like it doesn't feel like foam almost. It feels a lot harder. You can barely even get like if you put your finger on the pad and just press, you can barely get it to flex at all. It almost feels like a hard pad, but not quite. But that makes it so it's kind of weird to like stop your mouse in game, because if you're used to using like any normal pad that has a normal amount of softness to it, then you're used to like pressing your mouse in a little bit to stop, and you can't really do that with this pad because just how hard it actually is. Another thing about this pad is that the surface is really, 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 really rough. Like, this thing makes a normal artisan hand look soft. I would personally not highly recommend this pad to anyone who has sensitive skin if you don't use a sleeve like I do. I personally don't think I would actually even be able to use this pad without a sleeve because I have really, really sensitive skin, so... But with that out of the way, I actually really like the surface. It feels really fucking good to play on, and it feels, but like, it doesn't feel insanely fast, but it feels pretty controlled as well. Like, it feels faster than, hell, I'd say it's like a similar level of speed to like the other hybrid pads that are out there, like, I guess the closest comparison would be like an Arsenian, but it is slightly slower. It's not a mud pad by any stretch of the imagination, but it isn't uncontrollably fast, and I honestly think this would be easier to use for someone who's not like super into mouse pads than something like a Heian, because it's just, it feels much more controlled, at least with how I grip, than like a Heian or a even a Lethal Gaming Gear Mercury. However, the overall build quality of this pad is not quite as good as, the Lethal Gaming Gear pads. So personally, those are what I would choose over it. However, that does not make this a bad option by any stretch of the imagination. It's actually a very, very, very solid pick for like a pretty budget mouse pad. And considering that's being sold by Razer, it's going to be widely available across the world. So you're not going to have to like deal with like really long shipping times. You're not going to have to deal with insane shipping prices. You're not going to have to deal with like low availability like you might with Lethal Gaming Gear pads right now. So overall, I'd say this pad's very solid. In-game, it definitely has felt really good to use, and it has, like, I feel it's made my clicking a little bit better than, like, much faster pads, but, I mean, that's just the thing with more controlled surfaces. They'll make your clicking better, they'll make your tracking worse, at least in my experience. But, yeah, this thing actually, it feels really good to use in-game, and I honestly think that it's probably the most solid, like, consistently available pad in its $30 price range that you can even find. And yeah, my main thing I love about this pad is how insanely cheap it is. Oh, also, it has really, 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 really fucking good stitching. Like, the stitching is, I'd say, around equal with the stitching that the Lethal Gaming Gear pads have. Except, I slightly prefer the Lethal Gaming Gear stitching just because I think it's a tiny bit less, raised. But this is still very, very high quality, and it's absolutely fantastic for the fucking price. So, yeah, I'd rate it like a 7.5 out of 10, which, in my eyes, is actually really, really good. I would actually recommend this to anyone who's interested in trying a faster surface, who doesn't want to try something that's, like, unusably fast, or something that's a massive fucking blow to their wallet. So yeah, now, here's some footage of me trying to play Kovacs with this pad. Yeah, I really do like this pad. I don't think it works for me quite as well as the Lethal Gaming Gear Mercury, but I do think this is a very, very, very strong contender in the price range that it's in. And I think that there really isn't anything else that you can buy that's around its price that holds up to its level of its performance. And it also is really, really widely available because it's fucking made by Razer. They're one of the fucking largest peripheral companies on the planet. You'll be able to get this all over the world, unlike with a lot of other products, which is part of what makes it such a good option for pretty much anyone. Those are my thoughts on the new Razer Strider hybrid pad. On stream, well, during my 24-hour stream, I actually received this and unboxed it then, and I was really, really critical of it because I was sick and really tilted, so yeah, pretty much all the criticisms I had of it back then still kind of do stand, but they don't make this pad bad by any stretch of the imagination. It is very solid, and I would recommend it for anyone who is looking for a pad in this fucking range of speed and in this, like, price range. But yeah, those are pretty much my thoughts, and thank you for sticking around this long in this video.